Hello everyone, this is Style Teckle with caveloop.com, and I'm here to show you a product that is created by myself and Sean Hescock that is related to Adventure Post. For those, just a real quick summary for those of you not familiar with Adventure Post. Adventure Post is a weekly mailing by postcard game that was recently kickstarted. That's a sort of a role play, solo play game where each week you get a different segment as kind of a continuation of the adventure. And that goes out every week by postcard. It's double-sided with cool art and so forth. Well, as a secondary product that's both kind of related and unrelated is the cutout mailings here that we're working on. And what the cutout mailings is, and the reason I say it's sort of related, is we're keeping that traditional postcard size mailing for this product for a few different reasons that I won't take up your time with going into. That's not to say we may not have another version of this in the future that uses like a jumbo version postcard also, but currently launching with the standard postcard size before I look at doing the jumbo postcard size. The other way that it's related to the Adventure Post games is not always, but sometimes I'll use some of the art that we used from Adventure Post, accrediting the appropriate artist, in this case Indy Martin. So she did this whole row here. She did those for Adventure Post, the game, and I'm using those for the first cutouts. As I do additional cutouts, other art that has been seen in the Adventure Post cards will certainly make appearances on the Adventure Post cutouts. But additionally, I do have other sources for artwork that I'm able to use commercially by a lot of different great artists. And you're going to see all this different fantasy artwork appear on these cutouts, both in some of them will be a stand-up and some of them will be a flat token. Okay, so kind of you have the sense of what's going on with the project now. Let's go ahead and show you how these work. Okay, there's several different ways that you can do these. One way is, of course, scissors. Now, if you're going to use scissors, try to use scissors with the smallest blades as possible, because smaller blades means thinner. You get a standard size pair of scissors on these, you're really going to be cutting some pretty thick lines that, you know, that's going to do more damage than you want. These are, I'm not sure how sharp these are. We're about to find out. That's the other thing, make sure they're sharp. But I think these are okay. Yeah, these will work. And I'm not going to sit here and do the card. I'm just going to show you how the two different types of tokens that will come on Adventure Post cutouts will be. And it won't always be this configuration. There could be a jumbo monster that takes up, you know, this whole block. A whole card might be tokens that are, say, the size of 4 of these current smaller ones. There'll be different sizes and configurations and so forth. This is just the first one I went with. Okay, as you can see, I did kind of a cutout with scissors on this. I'll do one more. I'll do the skeleton down here at the end. And you just want to go on the ones that are meant to stand up that have a tab. You just want to cut straight down like that, and then across there, and that gives you your piece that you're going to fold. Now, again, depending on how meticulous you want to get, you can just fold this by hand, or you could even get like a ruler and a whole scenario. I'm just going to take it on the edge of this glass here and start to kind of perforate it. And actually, excuse me, I'm getting older. Just going to kind of perforate it here a little bit. There we go. And get that line. And now I have that line. Now, these are available as a print and play, or you can purchase them where they're mailed to you. The print and play, of course, you can print them, you can scale them to different sizes, so that you're like, you know what, I like these, but come on, man, they're a little small for my game here. You can scale them up, and you can also order them as a product here, which comes on the postcard, which is sent to you in an envelope. That is in order to protect them. It's available both domestic and internationally. There's a little bit more cost for the international, of course, but the idea being there that you get a cardstock based product If you don't print cardstock yourself. As you can see, it's not a real thick cardstock, but it still is a cardstock based material. Excuse any scratching noises you hear in the background, that would be my dog causing trouble. So once you have all your lines folded that you cut out, there you go. You come in on this, please. You have your stand up. Now, a few different ways you can then adhere that bottom. I was gonna use rubber cement because it's very quick and easy. Little dab, it's tacky, it holds. If you ever want to undo it, you can pull it apart, easy for storage. But unfortunately, I found out that I'm empty and I got to order some rubber cement. You can, of course, use a standard glue like an Elmer's glue or a general all-purpose glue. I would avoid like your super glues and your thin, clear liquid glues because they're going to soak up into the cardboard, and they just do not glue well on paper if you've never tried that. And this is probably pretty dry, so I'm probably just going to skip the demo on this because you guys know how glue works. Just one more, make sure I got it open all the way. Yeah, it's dry. What? Okay, it's not dried out, but I made a mess. So obviously you don't want that much glue on it, but then you're able to just kind of fold that over. And I'm not going to sit here and take up your guys' time while this dries, but then you just let that dry. Once it's dry, you have a nice little cutout miniature that you can then use. In this case, it's a skeleton. And of course, you'll notice, and I'm going to do a better job on these in the future. This was version 0.1, but you have a fully printed skeleton on this side. And then on this side, it's 50% transparency. And that's so that you can designate this is the front, this is the back. Kind of, the shadowy side is the back. The more transparent side. And yeah, it's all right. I can do that on these pants. Okay, so the other thing you can do, if you don't want to mess with the whole mess of glue and you having too much squirt out when you haven't used the bottle in who knows how many years and so forth. Like I said, if you're going to go glue, try to go rubber cement. That will save you a lot of hassles. Now, when I cut this onk out, I did not cut out. I cut all the way to the edge rather than doing kind of a cutout on the line there, but that's perfectly fine. And this time what I'm going to use is just a little bit of Scotch tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm going to kind of roll it, and then fold it over, and then we'll just put that right there. Fold that like that. A lot less messy, works instantly. If you want these for long-term use, go rubber cement. Take the extra time, do the extra work to rubber cement them. If you're just going to cut a couple of these out, use them once or twice and throw them away or something like that, then don't bother. But there you go. You could also use a little piece of double-sided tape, double-sided sticker, something like that. The other way you can cut these out, now I've done this actually. I have a nice set in the basement of cardboard cutouts I've done this sort of thing with. But if you really want to make these something that you're going to use over and over and over for long periods of time, you want them to look really, really nice and all that sort of thing, then what you do is get yourself a good piece of glass, put a piece of cardboard on it, and the reason you want the cardboard is because you don't want a slippery surface, but you want something underneath that's going to not get ruined if the knife punctures through. And you want to get a ruler. I didn't grab one, so I'm just going to kind of do this by eye. But, and then just take a razor blade. In this case, I'm using an X-Acto knife. You got that nice thin edge. You put that ruler on the edge of your cutout line so that you can do this faster on the cut than I'm doing it. I have to go slower here because I'm not using a ruler. And there you go. And again, if you have a ruler, you can press harder because you're not as worried about slipping. But I'm most of the way through on it. But this is going to give you that nice, clean, thin cut. And if you use a ruler, of course, a lot straighter than you're going to get using a pair of scissors. And of course, I didn't do a real good job because I didn't have the ruler, but you get a much cleaner cut, straighter cut. And then again, you can take that ruler that I didn't bring up and you can put it over the top or whatever to get a really nice fold line, and then again assemble. But then, you know, and then you use the rubber cement for your bottom tab, and that combination is going to give you that really nice, clean cut, clean folded, long-term lasting mini. And for storage, I would recommend tackle boxes. They work great. You get a fishing tackle box for $10 at Walmart with lots of compartments in it that you put all, you know, you sort everything by theme in. And then the other ones on here are just square tokens to sit out on your table or your maps or whatever, however you want, to designate things without necessarily being a stand-up piece. Treasure loot. I put a few of these Adventure Post logos on here. Those are sort of meant just to be a generic, you know, designate it whatever you want. Enemy, you know, hey, the black Adventure Post token here is a bad guy. And the dog's getting that piece. Okay. So, you know, you can put them out. And the reason I did this first card so small, and like I said, they're going to vary in size. I'll probably primarily focus on this general size scale, though, with the standard size postcards. And then I'll probably, once this gets going a little bit and I move into the jumbo, I'll do like a larger size version of the jumbos. But the reason that they're small is they actually work really well with your Adventure Post games that came in the mail that you subscribe to if you're really cool. And so you can kind of put this stuff on your Adventure postcards, and the sizing is made to be fairly appropriate, with the monsters being a little bit bigger because they're humanoid size and so forth. And they take up 2 squares. They should really take up 1, but I couldn't scale that right, so they take up 2. And there you go. And then, of course, if you have the Adventure Post map, they also work really well on nice on that. And if you're doing your own game prototyping and stuff like that, you're probably generally going to print smaller stuff, so you want smaller scale. So that's what it's all about. I hope you're interested in it. There's going to be options for just purchasing each card when it comes out as a straight just off of my store purchase it for virtual use, purchase it for physical use, and there's also going to be the Patreon, which will allow you to kind of do more of a subscribe. Hey, $2 a month will get you 1 card every month in the mail, and there'll be optional tiers. Hey, I want 2 cards, I want 3 cards, because you want multiple copies of it. Art will be different, themes will be different every month. If you're a patron, you'll have the opportunity to then provide feedback saying, hey, I want this theme, I want that theme, and I'll take that feedback into consideration for making it. Thank you for your time, and hope you like the product. Have a good day.